Alright everybody, so I am at 32nd Street. We're a few blocks away from where the explosion happened. The reason I just went live right now is we just had a couple unmarked cruisers shoot straight past us with their the lights going, and so I kind of felt like, with the situation being as crazy as it is right now, we don't really know what's going on. I want to start streaming now in case anything does happen. We'll have a live feed up in Manhattan. So I'm 0.2 miles from the scene. And again, for those just tuning in, an unmarked cruiser just zoomed straight past us. And I might get out in a quick second and just start running my way down. But again, for those that are just tuning in, I wanted to keep the live feed up as soon as possible in case anything happens, because a lot of people have been screaming, alright, we got helicopters above us, that it was an IED, but that's not confirmed as far as I know. A lot of crazy stories, a lot of, so look, when things like this happen, tons of unconfirmed rumors go all over the internet. People with bad intentions start spreading rumors, talking about things that may or may not be true. The best thing I feel like I can do is just get the live feed up right now. If anything happens, I'm here in New York, you'll watch. I'm about to make my way, I'm a few blocks away now. We're at, coming up on 28th. So, look, when, I think it was the day Periscope launched, actually, there was a gas line explosion, and everybody was freaking out. There was a big fire, and it was a similar situation. So we don't know for sure what's happening. But I am cruising in the back of an Uber, very close to the scene, and I'm going to see how far we can get before the roads get shut off. If you guys have any questions, comment below. I have very little equipment with me due to the nature of the event, which is kind of a bummer. But it seems like most of the people in the street here are talking about what's going on, and I can see police lights straight ahead. So again, ask questions. Hey, do you mind if I ask you some questions for live feed? People are asking if you feel safe driving in Manhattan right now with what's going on. Are you worried at all about the explosion?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're not worried that we're driving towards it?
Yeah, I'm worried, of course.
But I think it's a good possibility it may have been a gas line explosion, and everyone's, everyone gets scared because of what's going on around the world. So we'll see what happens when we get closer. People are saying they showed photos of a dumpster that was blown apart, and I'll add this though, for those that are watching, just because you see a photo of a dumpster that was blown apart doesn't mean that it was an IED in the dumpster. And I think that's why a lot of people are speculating, say it was a trash can bomb. If it was a gas line explosion, it would have destroyed anything that was near it. So until we have official word. Now I will say, Reuters tweeted out explosive device, I think. I retweeted them. I don't have a lot of my equipment with me, so I'm kind of bummed, but I basically rushed here as soon as possible. This is all happening within the past 40 minutes or so, I think past half hour. And we're gonna get some wind here, but I'm gonna get a shot out the window. I don't even have a battery on me, I just have my laptop. So who knows how long my phone will last. So again, so look, while I'm streaming, I don't have access to Twitter, so I can't get the most up-to-date news and everything, other than literally on the ground sending you guys up-to-date news, right? So if there's confirmation from any official organization or any statements made by the government, by the police, by the feds, whoever, I'm not going to see that. What I can see is exactly what's happening here on the ground in Manhattan. So I'm relying on you guys in the comment section when things change to send information and that kind of stuff that I can't hear about. So there are helicopters above us, obviously. Traffic is surprisingly not that bad for a Saturday night. Someone's saying that 23rd and 6th Avenue dumpster exploded. Fox is reporting. So right now, what we're going to get into is going to be a lot of the aftermath stuff, and I'll try and talk to as many people as I can as soon as I get in. Someone say I might as well turn back around because it's all over, but here's the thing. Situations like this, you don't know what it is, why it's happening. There's sirens nonstop, ambulance speeding, just sped by. Look, if this turns out to be something more than a gas line explosion, this is exactly where I need to be to report the news. There are reported injuries. People seem relatively calm where I'm at. We're about 0.1 mile away. We're really, really close. 5 minutes because of traffic. Oh, but it's straight ahead. I can just get out here, man. 500 feet. I could probably run faster, right?
Before Toronto, you can't.
I can just get out here, man. Because we're not gonna move. All right, thanks, dude. Have a good one, man. 5 stars. All right. Traffic is dead stopped here. 500 feet from. We're actually more than 500 feet. 500 feet from where I was going to leave off. With a beautiful full moon. Everybody seems relatively chill. But again, for those that are watching, in the event this is something more than a gas leak, I think it's as prudent of me to be out here streaming. And that's not the case. Just know that I'm always vigilant and prepared to cover the story if I can. So I'm coming up here on 26th and 7th. The reason I chose 26th is that there are reports that the police have sectioned off large areas up to 24th, I'm hearing. So I didn't want to get stuck in this dead stop traffic, which is exactly what happened. But I also want to get a sense of the scene surrounding. Another reason, too, is if they are still searching for a secondary device, if they think this was an IED, I want to keep my distance and slowly make my way into the area to assess the safety as I get closer, because if this is more than one... There we go. Right up on the scene. Let's see if my press pass is good for anything. For those that are wondering, an IED is an improvised explosive device. There are also reports that in Seaside Park, New Jersey, there was an IED earlier. I haven't followed too much on that, but I'm seeing a lot of people talking about it. I'm standing here at 25th and 7th, and there's a large response.
I don't know if 25th. I'm over here.
Can press get through here?
No. Okay.
Is there a way for press to get in?
I never got told of how. All I got told is everybody trying to demo us is going down east and then around. Alright, sorry.
Not good.
Alright, no problem.
Alright, now then. So there's a ton of people over there that are in the area, but for obvious reasons, they've got it closed off. Press. I got a press card.
man. Look,
Wait, he doesn't know.
he's a right, but there's a crime scene. You know, we didn't get told. Everyone thinks you're a normal person right now. You know, they think I just spoke to you over there.
Right. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, this is why I was walking through that tape, right?
So you guys see this rope? Just please go on the other side of the rope and we'll talk.
Alright, so for those that are just tuning in, I have to make my way around because the police won't even let me up to the tape. And I have a press badge on me. It's apparently not good enough. If you're just tuning in, make sure to follow me on Twitter at TimCast. TIMCAST. Once I get closer, we got helicopters above us with searchlights on. I'll do my best to talk to some people and see if there's any witnesses nearby. For those that are just tuning in, I am in the area we're at 25th and 7th. The whole area is cordoned off by the police. There was reports of an explosion. I'm going to try and get closer and figure out what the hell's happening, but you know, the officer told me that they weren't told anything about press, and you just look like a normal person, so you can't come in. Because apparently a journalist looks like something. So there's been a lot reported. I don't have access to the up-to-date tweets from official sources, so while I'm streaming, I can't see a lot of that stuff. What I can say is I've seen some tweets go out that said 14 injured. I've seen some tweets saying 25 injured. I've seen some tweets saying it was an IED, some tweets saying it was a gas line explosion, but at this point, as far as I know, nothing is confirmed. There's been a few things I believe that have been confirmed, but I'm not entirely up to speed on everything due to rushing down here as fast as I can to figure out what's going on and get the live feed up and running. So, that being said, I am coming up on 6th Avenue. Actually, this is where my business partner used to live, right here. This is crazy. I used to come down here for work all the time. Now the whole thing is sectioned off because of an explosion. Unbelievable. Now again, a couple of years ago, maybe not quite 2 years ago, it was actually, I believe it was the day that Periscope launched. There was a gas line explosion on the Lower East Side. And it was a similar situation, but I have to say, I got right up, literally within a few feet of where the explosion occurred. This is an entirely different response.
You have to go straight, alright?
We'll get together another time. Alright, let's go. So again, for those that are just tuning in, when there was a gas line explosion in LES almost 2 years ago, the whole front of the building exploded. Part of it collapsed. In the subsequent fire control efforts, the building was collapsing. People were injured, glass was blown out, and I was able to get within 50 feet of that fire. In fact, several journalists were able to stand up on a rooftop right across the street from where the fire happened, where the explosion happened. This is an entirely different response. It's something we didn't even see in this, and they both happened in Manhattan. Right here, actually, we have an NYPD Strategic Response Group, and this whole, everything's closed off, but it's hard to know exactly. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, and I'm going to continue to walk around.
Okay, no, but I just want to might be this. I don't think they're on the church that I have this. No. Okay, but that's no point. That's okay. Well,
So it doesn't sound, based on the comments, what you guys are saying, it doesn't sound like much has changed since I started streaming. I heard reports of 2 injured, I've heard reports of 14 injured, I've heard reports of 25 injured. It's hard to know exactly what's actually going on. This is how it goes. But the main reason I want to make sure this live feed is up is that if anything subsequent happens, I think it's important to have as many live feeds as possible. I know there's a couple other people who are streaming. Well, right now it looks like everything's just closed off. So this is 25th and 6th Avenue.
They're still kind of moving. So I need something to see you and let you know, but if not, okay.
A bunch of press trying to get in, but that's not working. Let's make our way back down one more block and then hang a right so we can hit 5th Street, 5th Avenue. And if you guys have any questions, again, ask away in the comment section. And I said this earlier, but there's a lot more people that are watching. If you guys are seeing official reports, I can't see those right now as I'm streaming because I'm streaming. I don't have most of my equipment with me, which is a bummer. But if you have any questions, anything I can answer, I will provide a connection into Manhattan right now for everybody who's curious about what is going on, and see if I can make my way around and get anywhere near this. You know, typically what happens in situations like this, if you were paying attention, you could see that down the block was a bunch of citizens, civilians, who were watching what was going on. But the police have blocked anyone from coming in. You can leave, you can't come in. And so for some reason, the rules tend to be very fluid. I don't know exactly what happens, but police tend to have different ideas of what they're supposed to be doing and where you're allowed to go. So depending on where you go, you might be allowed in some areas and not others. I see a lot of people in the comments are talking about Trump because of security issues. So let's see if I make my way up to Broadway here, if I can get around. For those that are watching, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast, T-I-M-C-A-S-T, covering breaking news and other stories. But typically, if something happens and I have access, I'm available to get there, I will get down there as soon as possible. I will add, you never know where you need to be. There's absolutely no way I would have known to be in Chelsea at 9 p.m., right? It's just not possible. But I can get down here as soon as possible. And so that's what I'm here, that's what I'm doing. Oh man. Hopefully this was a gas explosion. Because if IEDs have made their way to New York City, that's something else, man. So this is 5th Ave and 24th. It's all under construction. Alright, so I gotta make my way through there, but you can see off in the distance response vehicles. I want to see how close I can get. Come down to a place like this wearing a suit, you probably just walk right in. It's like the cop said to me, he said, you look like a regular person, so I'm not going to let you through. Alright, so right now I'm making my way back up to 6th Avenue and 24th. Very close to the scene, the initial scene, which I believe was 23rd and 6th. A lot of people crowded around in the streets. I've seen a lot of ambulances so far. So again, for those that are just tuning in, to give you guys some context, almost 2 years ago, just about maybe a year and a half ago, there was a gas explosion in the Lower East Side. I was able to walk within 50 or so feet of the explosion. And in fact, me, as well as dozens of other journalists, were able to stand on top of a building just across from where the explosion occurred. This is something totally different. This is several blocks being blocked off. It's a totally different response. Absolutely, absolutely different. They're not letting... I watched a woman show her press credentials. They would not let her in. I showed mine. They would not let me in. And that did not happen when it was a gas line explosion. So, I don't know if that matters, what it means. But looks like having come around from Broadway, I'm able to actually get up to the intersection at this point, where the police originally wouldn't let me come in. So, just about 1 block away from where the explosion was reported. Now, I've seen police letting in people who had, looked like they had IDs showing they lived there. A woman appeared to be with her friends, and the police would not let her friends go with her to go home. Massive response here. This is huge. So just up there, the police wouldn't let me come down. I had to walk around the block. There's a huge response. If I can zoom in, yeah, I can digital zoom. You guys weren't here when it happened, were you? Do you guys remember the LES explosion early last year? Or was it 2 years ago? There was a gas line that exploded on the Lower East Side. This is 300 times more quick response. Well, the gas explosion took out part of the building, collapsed. It wiped out everything across the street and bang.
Upper East Side.
Lower East Side. And we were able to literally walk within 50 feet of the explosion and film. Now they're not letting us anywhere near it. Dozens of journalists were on the roof across the street from the explosion, filming the fire. Now I come down to this, and the response is significantly larger, and no one's allowed anywhere near it.
Subway, like right here, instead of subway thing, underneath. Right, yeah. All right, we got you. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Thank you. Guys, we're trying to clear this area.
I'm pressed as well. I got it back on me. So it looks like a couple journalists are able to get in. So again, this is 24th and 6th. And you guys are seeing the aftermath of an explosion in the Chelsea neighborhood. 6th Avenue, 24th Street. Huge response. Unfortunately, I don't have my equipment on me, so it's really difficult for me to monitor official news feeds as well as cover what's happening on the ground. But again, for those that have been watching since the beginning, I want to feel just by just showing you guys what's happening here, giving you a window. If anything changes, if something else happens, the live window will be up for as long as I can keep it up. So we're just coming off a full moon, if that means anything. Was there any word yet on what it was? Firefighter. He said, "They don't tell me nothing." So I think it's safe to say that a lot of even the response teams are in the dark on what this is. Really wish I had my other phone on me. Hearing that MSNBC is reporting 24 injuries, no fatalities. Again, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast, TIMCASD. And you can also find my YouTube channel. Tends to be less breaking stuff, but that's youtube.com/Timcast. This might be as close as we can get. You can see there's other journalists here that can't get anywhere closer.
Where it occurred, right?
Yeah, right up here, yeah.
On 6th Avenue?
Yep. 63rd, yeah. So you guys are looking at it. Alright, so let's see. How many vehicles can I see? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. From where I'm standing, I can count 13 vehicles. Some of them probably have their lights off. There's 14. So just based on the lights that I'm seeing in the back, and these vehicles up front with no lights, I can see 14 vehicles. Police are coming up with some barricades.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to step back. I'm doing a barrier line straight across here, okay? Step back away from the tape.
Hey, can Press get in here?
Okay, we're doing across this way. On the fence, this way across.
Is Press good to go in?
Press is at 2, 3, and 5. You gotta walk that way and then down to 5. That's your press.
All right. We saw most of what we can see at 24th and 6th. 2, 3, and 5, I'm told, which means it's probably not a good spot, but there may be some more answers for us if I make my way down through 23rd. So the police, you just saw, are setting up barricades at 24th and 6th Avenue. I'm going to try and make my way down to 23rd by looping through 5th. For those that are just tuning in, this is the explosion reported in Manhattan, in the Chelsea neighborhood, 23rd and 6th Avenue. So I asked a firefighter if there was any official word on what it was yet, and he said, "They don't tell me nothing." For those that are watching, you've probably got again, yeah, I said this, a million times. For those that are just tuning in, I don't have, as I'm streaming, I can't see the official feeds, so any word from the police, the firefighters, or the city, I'm not going to be able to see those. But what I can show you is exactly what's happening on the ground in Manhattan. And the primary reason, there was a rat up in New York. The primary reason I want to have this feed up and running is just in case, anything changes, if this is if it becomes a more serious situation. I wish I was skinnier, I could squeeze through that. Adult male will not fit through 4 inches of fence line. It's likely the press area he's referring me to may be a dead end, but it's either that or stand at 24th and 6th and just show you guys some police cars, but some fire trucks. 1 block from the scene, you can see people are chilling at the bar and celebrating. I'm seeing multiple reports from people that there's no fatalities. For those that are watching, have they put out any official word yet on what it was? I'll say this again because we've got a few thousand more viewers that have tuned in since the last time I said it, but almost 2 years ago, it was actually when, maybe it was about a year and a half ago, there was a gas line explosion on the Lower East Side, and it took out the whole front of the building, took out the buildings across, damaged the buildings across the street, and the response was dramatically less than what we're seeing here. Several journalists, including myself, we were able to get within 50 or so feet, just across the street from where the explosion happened and the fire was being fought by the firefighters trying to put out the fire. This is not that much further away. Maybe a mile or two. And the response is significantly heavier. So it looks like there's a press staging area, but it's very far away from what actually happened. Look at the press areas across the street, but you're not going to be able to see anything from there either. This is a huge response.
Well, we got to cross here. You can't cross this way. You got to cross that way.
Blocked off. We're not letting anyone in. I will say, for those that are watching, I will keep the feed going as long as possible. Just, it's more about if things change. Two more SUVs just pulled right in.
Cross this way, sir.
Right? I mean, you guys gonna stay on this side? You gotta stay behind the thing.
And the street.
See, there's a ton of people gathering around. We got 3 more vehicles, an SUV and 2 cars pulling in. Another vehicle just behind them. Not sure what this one is. What is this? Disaster relief from the American Red Cross. And more vehicles coming in. Nope, police SUV. No, actually, no, that's University Hospital. Yeah, that sounds like they're bringing in a lot of resources. So for those just tuning in, this is 23rd Street and 5th Avenue. Just 1 block that way is where the explosion was reported to have happened. This is the famous Flatiron Building straight in front of me. This is a big hot spot for tourists and people coming into the city this way. For those that have any questions, I can see you guys in the comments. More vehicles coming in through here. Seeing as New York is the capital of journalism in this country, huge staffs for the biggest companies. Every journalist in the world, okay, it's an exaggeration, but a ton of journalists are here. And it's heavily saturated. Right across the street I can see a decent amount of press. We got the SAT truck straight ahead. For those that are wondering, someone's asking how to share this. You can retweet it, you can copy the URL and Post it. I'm not sure how sharing works when you're watching it on mobile app though. You know, typically when breaking news stuff like this happens, I'm just gonna hop on Periscope and get you guys a live feed best I can.
What's up, bud? The train will be at shutdown right now. All right. So
All right. So
I'm trying to
Tom
bus.
just said the train here at 23rd and 5th is shut down.
6 might be running. You couldn't walk here. Yeah.
Huge crowds. A lot of people gathered around to see what's going on. But for the time being,
Everybody's coming on the other side, okay? No, where you going, bud? Your press? Your press? All right. This is you're gonna wait. You're gonna cross and then come across. Do one of those, all right? I know.
all right, we're gonna cross the street anyway.
Do one of these, like a U.
Okay.
Like a U. All right? Cool. Let's go this way. This way. No. Let's get on the other side of the gate.
I'm not sure if it matters to be over on that side anyway, but for those that are watching, you can help out by sharing this. You know, all I can do is stream, and it's up to everybody else who's watching to share it, tweet it out, post it to Facebook, however else you can share things, I guess. And you know, hopefully this is it. Nothing else happens, but should anything change, I have the live feed up at So we got a ton of press right on this corner. It seems a bit redundant to be over there, honestly. So I'll go check out for a second and then I'll loop around south. Something happened black SUV pulling in.
Thunderous explosions sent first responders thunderous explosions sent first responders storming to New York City's Chelsea neighborhood.
So someone standing over here on the phones just said, and again, I almost don't want to say anything, but one of the people headed to the press pool said something about a cell phone detonation that they want to keep close to the chest and not let out just yet. So that is just something I overheard, which may not be true at all. So don't, again, that's not a fact, but overhearing people in the press pool saying something like that, and, I kind of don't want to say it, but at the same time I would feel, I don't know, man. All I can do is talk about what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, so that's all I'll do, I guess. Hey, dude.
Walk this way and walk this way.
Tons of cars. Oh, so now they're letting people cross straight through. $25 injured, non-life-threatening. I'm hearing from the press. pointing the cameras at nothing.
You guys.
It's a pretty, it's a bad place to stand for a variety of reasons. Mostly because every journalist covered is probably standing here, at least 90% of them. Hearing someone mention that the mayor is heading this way. Sounds like it must be serious. Again, that gas explosion happened, and it responds a tenth of what's going on here. I just heard that I won't name which news organization. They said they have no live capability, which is weird because I'm live streaming right now. TV is dead, isn't it? Alright, I'm going to loop around the block again for a few reasons. Mostly, I'm not doing anyone a service by standing in a group of journalists who are all filming the same thing. And I think it is a huge waste of talent that all of the journalists are standing right there filming the same thing. More importantly, all media standing in one group is a big target. And it would be smart to either stand away from a large crowd of media or go somewhere else. So I think the best thing that I can do is make my way down and around to the south side and see if I can get any shots or learn anything about what's happening around this end. It's hard to know how and why these things unfold the way they do, or what's going to happen. I would say it's absolutely impossible to know what could happen next. You can always speculate, but there's no way to know for sure. I mean, I guess unless you got insider information for some reason, but coming down here and trying to cover this, you know, we all hope that it's over. You know, it was what it was. But the reason so many journalists come down, and the reason you're going to get a live feed from me, is in the event that it is not over. And that's the scary thing. So right now I'm approaching 6th Avenue and 22nd Street, 1 block south of where the explosion was reported. And, you know, everything just looks like regular old New York. I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary here. So for those just tuning in, there was an explosion reported in Midtown around 9 or so p.m., a little bit after. I don't think we have a confirmation on exactly what happened. As far as wild rumors and speculations, people have been saying IED, people have been saying gas line explosion. There's a photo of a mutilated dumpster, and people are taking that to believe it was a trash bomb of some sort. But as far as I know, there's no official statement made on what caused the explosion. could be entirely nothing. But for the sake of, so I'll say this. There was a man who was standing next to me on the phone, and he was talking decently audibly. And I'm not sure if many of you heard it, but he said something about a cell phone detonation. And then he said, I don't know if you want that out yet. I don't know what that means. I don't know who that guy was. It could be bullshit. It could be a nobody, and he could just be riling things up. But I say this definitely not as an official report, just as to repeat something that you may have heard on the stream, and to stress that it's not confirmed. And, even if you're hearing something like that, keep it in mind, but it's not true until there's some kind of confirmation, some kind of proof, right? And that being said, just because the government says it happened doesn't necessarily mean it did. We need to, figure out what actually is going on. Alright, well, this is 22nd and 3rd. They got the whole intersection blocked off, and there's a ton of vehicles. We got scooters, we got ambulances. Ambulance shooting in right now. That are just tuning in to catch breaking news, follow me on Twitter at Timcast, TIMCAST. I heard earlier 25 injuries, none are life-threatening. And I don't think they're giving any official word on what happened yet. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to give you guys, for those that are just tuning in, some context. I've said this a couple times already. For those that have already heard it, I guess you'll hear it again. Almost 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, there was a gas line explosion on the Lower East Side, just a couple miles from here. I was able to stand almost directly across the street from where the explosion happened, filming the fire as fire department fought to put the fire out. Several dozen journalists sat on a rooftop just across the street from where the explosion happened. And mind you, this is in Manhattan. They immediately came out and said, gas line explosion, took out the front of the building, took out the windows of the buildings across the street, several people injured. This response is extremely different. It's extremely different. There is a substantially larger number of response personnel here, more vehicles, larger area blocked off, and they're not telling us anything. I don't know if that means anything. I don't know what that means. Maybe it means nothing. I'm just letting you know there's, when it comes, this is dramatically different from what we did see when there was a gas line explosion. So again, when I mentioned what that guy was saying, you may have heard him about cell phone detonation. Not confirmed, random person on the street, the other press pool, don't know if the name is true, don't know who this guy is. But I just want to clarify that in the event that, some people may have heard him say it, and it's just, I don't want something to happen like with the police scanner incidents we've seen a few years ago. Just because somebody says it doesn't mean it's true, not until we have confirmation or some kind of proof. Oh, looks like a bunch of important people are walking in. I wonder what these guys are up to. Many people wearing suits with badges have just exited the area. Police HSI. we're trying to get in. All right. I'm going to make my way back around to 24th. You can see the CNN's playing right here at the Olive Garden. 25 injured in Manhattan explosion. But other than that, they're reporting anything that we don't already know. And it also looks like the news feeds are just filming the same thing over at 24th Street, which is a bit ridiculous, man. You know, all the journalists are in the same spot filming the same thing. Right now, there's nothing happening. You just can't see anything. There's a huge response. Seriously large amount of firefighters, police, and other personnel. But no idea what's happening. Press those that have hung out while the camera was pointing at nothing, there's a large group of police officers in suits talking about stuff. And so just trying to hang out and hear if anything's happening. But it just sounds like these cops here are trying to figure out which interviews they're going to be doing, what footage they have to show to accompany the incident. So I heard reference to Fox News. I heard sounds like the guy in charge said that you're going to be in charge of documenting the videos that we have and what goes along with what. I didn't get the entirety of what they were talking about, but it sounds like they're just planning media appearances to give statements on what's happening. Well, for the most part, it looks like we may get some information soon. There's an FDNY press office, just where these men are speaking. Press office. So for those that are watching, the stuff you hear on social media tends not to be true, unfortunately, for breaking news. This is why the live streams are so important. You may hear things, you may see tweets, and you don't know what's real and what's fake. But if you're watching a live stream and something does happen, you will see it happen. So I'll add, when you're hearing all these crazy tweets about all this crazy stuff happening and compare it to what you see in the live stream, you can tell exactly why you should assume that these tweets are not real. When you're down here at these events, things are very slow. We've got 2 helicopters straight above. We've got a group of officers in suits, looks like some kind of ranking officials, discussing how to handle the press. And there's a bunch of vehicles that aren't moving, and a lot of responders who are also not moving. These events, they happen pretty slowly. So again, a lot of what you hear are these tweets that go crazy, and people saying crazy things about IEDs. You don't know. If you're down here looking at stuff, it's slow and chaotic. It's an interesting phenomenon. But it looks like the police and fire department are getting ready to make some statements. Looks like we got the fire department coming into the Olive Garden here. So this is an Olive Garden. It looks like the fire department's watching CNN. It would seem that the fire department trying to figure out what's going on by watching CNN. I'm kidding. Although they're actually watching CNN.
Cell phone timer. That mom was moving the rest of the laws and it was fine. So she pulled up and it had detonator, which was a light, fix their light. No water, okay, there's a man right here. He's wearing a jacket that says Chief of Intel, NYPD. He's right in front of me. Okay? This is what I just heard him say as he walked behind me. The bombs were placed in plastic bottles, and it had a detonator that was timed to go off at a specific moment. I didn't hear what he said after that. He made reference to a specific kind of detonator before leaving. But again, a man just standing behind me wearing an NYPD jacket that said Chief of Intel said, again, look, I can't say that he's making actual reference to what happened here. I don't know. All I'm going to let you guys know is that there's a man wearing a jacket saying Chief of Intel who stood behind me, and he said the bombs were placed in plastic bottles with a detonator set to go off at a specific time. That's all I heard. I don't know who that man is. I don't know if he's making direct reference to this. you know, it's entirely possible that he was making reference to a similar incident. You know, I don't know. But that's what he said. And, yeah, I don't know. This man right here in the suit just said the bomb squad did another sweep and there were no signs of devices. So again, I'm going to recap for all of you guys watching. This is Olive Garden right here. I'm standing right here on the sidewalk. This is 22nd and 6th Avenue, 22nd Street. Inside, we got several firefighters in the Olive Garden. A man standing behind me wearing a jacket that said NYPD Chief of Intel, and another man wearing a suit. We're talking. The man in the jacket said something about the bombs were placed in plastic bottles and the detonators had to go off at a certain time. He made reference to what the detonator was. I didn't understand it, probably because I don't know anything about detonators. I don't know who the man is. I don't know if what he is saying is true. I don't know if he's making a reference to actually what's going on here. That's all I know and all I heard. And then just a moment ago, another man in a suit inside this area said the bomb squad did another sweep and didn't find, I'm paraphrasing at this point, but something like they didn't find anything. Their second sweep. So, helicopters above us. I'm hearing a press conference is being set up. 25 injured, non-life threatening. The president has been briefed on what's going on. Anyone I want heaven yet? Looks like with most of the journalists over at 24th, they weren't standing here when the cops and intelligence officers were actually talking about what was going on. Setting up a news conference, presumably at 24th. So most of the men that were in suits are heading back. It would seem that this meeting they have right here outside of the Olive Garden was to discuss how they're going to handle the press. We've got an officer here with a rifle of some sort. My press office here, several officer badges and suits. Looks like some kind of ranking officials. I'm gonna make my way back up to 24th and 5th. I'm hearing there's a press conference being set up. So let me recap you guys so far on what I have heard on the ground. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not, I don't have access to the official feeds from the city, the fire department, the police. But this is the explosion in Manhattan, in the Chelsea neighborhood, 23rd and 6th Avenue. I'm hearing there's no confirmation on exactly what happened so far. But I will say this. Quick recap on everything. When the explosion in LES happened, it was a gas explosion, the response was nowhere near as large as we're seeing right now. We were able to get right up to the explosion and cover what's happening. Just a few moments ago, a man wearing a jacket that said Chief of Intel said something. He made reference to bombs in plastic bottles with detonators set to go off at a certain time. That would contradict the other guy I heard in the street talking about cell phones.
A few moments after that, a man in a suit made reference to the bomb squad doing a second sweep and not finding anything. I don't know who these guys are. I don't know if they're making direct reference to what's going on here. Again, it's just something I heard in the street from some people wearing suits and one man wearing a Chief of Intel jacket. I'm hearing there's going to be a press conference set up. 25 people are injured, non-life-threatening injuries, no one's dead. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Timcast, Timcast, for more breaking news coverage from various other events and on the ground here. Depending on what happens, I may take the feed down and switch to some live tweets and Instagram stuff, so stay tuned. But for the meantime, we're still here. So I'm going to make my way back to 24th and 5th. Or 23rd and 5th, I'm sorry, 23rd and 5th. That's where the press was gathered, and maybe there will be an official statement that I will deliver to you guys here on Periscope. If I had to speculate, it sounds like a bomb. Based on the massive response, based on what I've overheard the police talking about. That being said, that is not confirmed, and the best I can do is there was guys wearing some NYPD looking gear. Hey, was there an official word yet on what happened? You know, I mentioned earlier, standing around at 23rd and 5th in a giant circle of journalists all filming the same thing and hearing the same thing is a huge waste of time. And I gotta say, I don't have a lot of my gear on me, and I don't currently work for anybody, so I don't have the resources. Did I, were any one of these official journalists where I was when they heard what I heard, they could definitely, call in their office and do some fact checking. So unfortunately, I can't do that.
No, big guy, green t-shirt. No.
Hey, 看不能动。
Nice try.
This press conference?
Just wanted to know, some of us are petrified to take the train home. Do you know what's going on in that aspect?
I'm running over with Tyler and Daniel.
Put it together, they'll be out in a little second.
All right, thank you.
Can press get through?
No.
No press?
I'll play back.
Only video.
Well, I am doing video. I'm live.
Stop yelling at me. Don't yell at me, Adam. Don't yell at me, Adam. I was over there. I just seen her over there. I see her now.
Hey, man, I got a live feed going. Can I get in there?
So does everybody else.
All right.
Okay.
What? I know that.
Selective enforcement.
I know that. I got my live shot up with me. Danny has my shot.
Pretty sure I know what they're going to say anyway.
All right, bye. Carlos, I just need to get a table over.
I know. There's a lot of cameramen without their reporters. Have to do some stuff.
Put together a table.
No, not yet. Okay, guys, hold on. Guys, I told you, it's not going to start unless I'm okay. So don't panic.
Hey Tony, I'm right here.
Yes.
Are you set up? I'm reporter from the NYC.
I have no details for you. I have no details for you. There'll be a press briefing
A
shortly.
couple meters away from you. Basically, I'm on 23rd and 5th. Okay. Yeah.
Well, they said there's no official statement, but if you guys are watching, you heard our best speculation based on what the Chief of Intel said just a moment ago. So I can only assume what they're going to say, but I think we all know.
Hey, Brian, give me a piece of tape so I can bring this all the way across. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is very limited space over there. We understand that NYC is in town, a lot of people are here. We're going to try and accommodate everyone, okay? Just understand it's very, very tight. No. Again, we're going to accommodate everyone. Just don't push, don't shove, okay? Try and get everyone out. But listen, in all honesty, we don't want to have any more injuries. We understand that this is a big, big news story. You must have either a UN foreign press identification or a foreign press identification. And we'll get into where you work. Everyone back up. You're pushing. No, I mean, one of these officers over here.
So I don't think they're going to let me in.
You need a foreman. I saw you.
We're going to do this one at a time. Do not push.
See if my friend ID works.
No, they'll let me. I'm on the line. Just keep it.
I'll take care of you, but you have to step off. I have to take care of you. No, hold on. Stand over here. I will take care of you. Just stand over here. I'll take care of you. Stand over here. Right here. Come this way. Underneath. Wait. Where you going? Go. UN. No. Hit that. UN. I'm going to take care of you. Relax. You're going to take care of you. Trust me. You're going to trust me.
You're letting foreigners through.
I'm letting you want to not discriminate against the foreign because you're they have identification.
I'm
going to take care of you. You can ask any of your colleagues at Fox News who I am. Believe me, I'm a big ally. So you just need to give me some chances. Let me do my thing. No. Let's get over here. Right here. Sir, ma'am, sir.
Ready to Tommy.
I understand where you're from.
Get as close to the NYC security thing as possible. I'm passing.
Right there. Go. Okay, now, where are you from?
Here, New York.
What agency is that?
So I'm with Sept now.
With the NBC's, I'm pretty sure.
Underneath, hurry up, man. Hurry up. Whoa. Hold on. No. We're not letting everyone in.
Okay.
So you can get back under there. Let me just go. I'm going to company. I want to see. Yeah, underneath. Let me go see what the room is now, and then we're going to adjust accordingly, okay? Okay?
This is hard. I'm trying to juggle my phone and my IDs at the same time.
Where you work for?
Subverse now.
What's that?
Subverse? I got one of those.
Samsung here?
Yeah. Novelty. I think 360 makes it more difficult to see the story. I've done a bunch of 360 stuff and it just makes it hard to understand what's going on.
because the audience can't figure out where the action is. And you can center it on there, but then if something happens behind you, it becomes perfect. So the challenge becomes, if you film a forced perspective and something happens, you can just point at it. Whereas if you're shooting 3D or 360, you're relying on the audience to figure out what's happening. So, for whatever reason, we got a huge push from a bunch of different companies to make 360 happen, even though it's an extremely difficult to do. Photos on the other hand, I think work. I would say if you caught something, like if you were here when the explosion happened and you had a 360 camera, that would be epic. But the challenge is, after the fact, it doesn't really work.
360 cameras are only being built right now. Not much technology work.
It's like drones, man. Everybody live over drones and nobody does anything with it. That's where I used to go. Hopefully this will get fun. Yeah, I basically developed technology for media. I've got, I'm the first person to ever do a live news drone broadcast.
Even animators don't want to bring it to 3D.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work.
I'm an animator. I don't want to do it.
It's just, it's a gimmick. And you got, the thing is, you got a bunch of brands asking for it for advertising, which is why we're seeing a big push as well. And everyone's really excited about trying to get in that new thing. But it makes it more difficult to consume news. It makes it more difficult to consume the story.
Let's just get into the back.
Okay. From the exit. Yeah. Okay. So, I would say about 15 minutes ago, I was over at 22nd, and a guy wearing a jacket that said Chief of Intel. I was talking to another guy, he said, bombs placed in plastic bombs with detonators set you up at a certain time. I don't know if that's true. I just overheard a guy wearing a jacket that said Chief of Intel. Another guy said, bomb squad did a second sweep and didn't find anything. So I'm wondering if that's what they're going to announce. I'd assume so. Were you guys down here for the gas explosion happening like 2 years ago?
I'm a student here.
Nothing like this. You could walk right up to the front of the building. You could walk across the street and look at the building as it's burning as the explosion. No, not less. Lower east side, it was like first gas explosion. It blew up the whole front of the building, collapsed part of it, and hit every building across the street. The building went up in flames, and Crash was able to walk right up, like this far, like staring straight at it. No problem, he walked right in. This is much more intense. Alright, so for those that are watching, looks like we're just waiting for a press conference, a press briefing. If I have any questions, I'm trying to get everyone their live shots. Again, if you were watching the live stream, you may have heard I don't know if this is true or not, but I've said it again, is that a man wearing a jacket saying Chief of Intel made reference to bombs placed in plastic bottles with a detonator set to go off at a certain time. I don't know who the man is, I don't know what he was talking about. Another man said the bomb squad did a second sweep and didn't find anything. I don't know if they're making direct reference to this incident. It's very likely it's possible they're making reference to a similar incident. I have no idea. So we'll see when the official word gets out, but if I, would put a 0.1% chance on what it may have been, I think that's possible. So we don't know. At least not officially. If you're just tuning in, make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast, TIMCAST, for more news coverage. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel for other travel and breaking news stuff at youtube.com/Timcast, TIMCAST. And also, if you're interested, we'll be ramping up content over at Subverse, so you can follow Subverse on Twitter at It's Subverse, ITSSUBVERSE. And that'll be more general information, entertainment, and general media. More for fun. Oh, looks like they're not going to let us in here.
Yeah.
while we're waiting, I'll just bring up the conundrum of allowing the government to regulate the press, which they're not supposed to do. So what ends up happening is police officials will start funneling in anyone with a major corporate affiliation. So if you've got Fox, ABC, NBC, you walk right in. Anybody else who works for a news organization, you have to wait.
There's only one bomb, right?
I don't know. But we don't officially know if it was a bomb yet.
That went off.
We know there's one explosion.
There's a picture that's online of the mangled
Trash can? If a gas explosion happened, the trash can will get mangled anyway. So everyone's speculating there's a trash can bomb because they saw a picture of a trash can.
Said they already swept the area, right?
Well, I overheard a guy in a suit say the bomb squad did a second sweep and didn't find anything. I don't know who the guy was. I don't know what he was making reference to, but that's what I heard him say. Yep. You know, the funny thing is all the press that's standing around here in the same spot filming the same thing is wasting their time.
Yeah, because they're all getting in.
Well, it's not just that. It's before this press conference happened, you had most of the journalists standing in the same spot filming the exact same thing as each other. Who does that serve? You're getting the same footage. I walked over to 22nd and got to see a meeting by the top brass investigating. I heard everything they were talking about. There was no journalists over there. And then one cop said, I learned these days. One of the cops was like, you look like a regular person, you can't come in. I'm like, okay. And they started talking about everything. I'm like, me more. I used to work for them. Now I have my own company. Mostly because when I worked for them, they had me just stay on the phone with everyone else and learn what everyone else already knows.
Hey, how's it going?
We got an empty stretcher coming in.
Yeah, I'm still here. No, it's fucking here.
No official word yet on what's happening, but all of the press is lined up with their cameras for their live shots.
From which direction? From which direction? From where you came from? I see you, but there's no police here to come through. Is there? Okay, let me see if I can... There's no one here though, so... Yeah. Is anyone speaking? Really? Okay.
You know, I think the funniest thing I heard earlier was, I'm not going to name them, but one of the major news outlets was standing on the corner saying, we have no live feed.
Really? Okay.
We can't go live. Yeah, sneak in. Yeah, the cop's standing right there.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
Not sneaking in.
Okay, see you.
This is pointless. I'll get out of here. Excuse me. Everyone's going to learn exactly what the police know at the same time because you've got 17 live cameras set up in there. And nothing I'm going to get that they're not going to get before me anyway. So let's just see if I can get stuff happening around the scene.
It just better be a couple of people.
I will say this, if it turns out what I overheard from those cops is true, and that's what's happening, I'll feel really good about my intuition. But again, look, you know, the main reason I want to bring those things up is that if you heard them say it on the live stream, I want to make sure I clarify that these are not confirmed. We don't know what this is. We don't know who these people are. It's interesting to keep in mind. But keep in mind as well that we will get official word from the police and the fire department soon. I'm going to add to that just because they said it doesn't make it true, you know, so I understand there's difficulties often in providing, you know, the physical evidence in real time. These things, you almost can't do it, so it's about trust. If you believe in the police, the fire department, the city, and the government, then it's about who you trust. We got to keep that in mind. You know, because we've seen a lot of bad reports come out from government before, and we've seen a lot of bad reports come out from journalists before. So it's important. Here's what I say. I'm gonna walk around and try to make my way back to 24th and 6th. But in the meantime, I just want to say, I'll tell you my personal philosophy on the matter. I don't believe anything at all. I don't believe anything. I have an idea of what may or may not be more likely to have occurred. So every decision I make is based off of the likelihood that it's an affirmative, that it has happened, right? If I can say there's a greater than chance probability that something happened, then that's how I'm going to base my decisions. But you run into a problem if you believe something wholly and fully 100%. It makes it harder for you to correct yourself if you were wrong, and it could also lead you down a dangerous path. So, you know, that's how I function. That being said, in the event they report what happened, I believe it will be more likely than not what they say, what they will tell us is in fact what happened. Fully understanding it doesn't always work that way, but you know, we'll see what happens. I'm going to make my way back up to 24th and 6th, just one block north of where the incident occurred. Additionally, you know, while we're making our way down there, make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast, Timcast. Follow me on Periscope if you aren't already at Timcast. And I'm going to be starting a live show with some friends just a bit north of New York. And that's going to be on my YouTube channel and maybe some other platforms. I got to work it out with them, and they're going to help me set it all up. And we're going to talk worldly events, news, politics, and other fun internet stuff. So that's going to be on youtube.com/Timcast, as well as other short videos and documentaries. So news, information, travel, fun, and things that seriously impact how our world works. In the meantime, I am about a half block from 24th and 6th, which is just one block north of where the incident occurred. Now, the press all the way back at 23rd is getting ready for a press briefing. Maybe 20 or so minutes ago, before they started setting that up, I overheard several officers, men in suits with badges, who were having a meeting discussing how they were going to address the press, handle videos and interviews. And again, I overheard one person wearing a jacket as a chief of intel make reference to bombs in plastic bottles and a timed detonator. So I will, just a few moments after that, a man in a suit said the bomb squad did a second sweep and something about not finding anything. So I'm not entirely sure, but there's a small idea of what they might say. Could be totally wrong. I don't know who these guys were. I don't know what they were saying, what it was in reference to. But, you know, I bring this up for a few reasons. I heard it from what looks like official sources. And more importantly, if you guys heard it on the live stream, I want to make sure I clarify that this is not fact. Don't know who these guys are. Don't know what they're referring to. They may be referring to something entirely different, but keep in mind, you know, the things you hear, because we'll see what happens, and the more information we have, we can better piece together what happened. Oh, you got to talk to the police. No, they told me to come this way. Hold on, I got them. Oh, this one. Yeah. Get down to the other end of the block. How do I, what these does get touched? I don't know how to get down. One block down or like? I like praying as fast as I can down to the dogs. We're having a press conference on 23rd and 5th. That sounds like does conference work? 23rd and 5th, but they're basically only letting in people with networks. Yeah, sorry, I'm just glad I appreciate it. Thank you. I got you, man. No problem. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I know there's a ton of you guys watching, but I only have the one phone, and I want to get some photos out, and I want to get some short clips out on Twitter. So I think it's likely that, based on what I heard from those officers down at the 22nd, that things may be calming down, kind of closing up here, and they're going to give the press briefing, which usually means they've kind of secured things, and it's definitely a lot calmer. That being said, I'm going to take the feed down and switch to Twitter, so make sure you are following me on Twitter and Instagram, at Timcast, Timcast, and stay tuned, because I'm going to have a live podcast show with some friends, hopefully in the next, starting up the next couple weeks, around October. That's going to be at youtube.com/Timcast, Timcast, and you can follow me on Periscope as well if you're not already. Well, the other thing too is that when I'm streaming, I don't have access to the official feeds, so it's hard to know if things are happening around me. So, go to youtube.com/Timcast, Timcast. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, at Timcast. And I will bring you breaking news. If anything happens here on the ground, I will go live again, and you will see that tweet out, and it will be on Periscope. So thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned. I will have... hopefully I can put a video together tonight explaining everything that happened, and we'll get the full picture soon. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.